In the bustling heart of ancient Athens, a city alive with politics, poetry, and power, lived a man unlike any other. His clothes were simple, his possessions few. He neither held public office nor claimed to be a teacher, and yet his words would echo through the corridors of time, shaping the very foundations of philosophy and human thought. His name was Socrates, a man who walked barefoot through the streets, not to preach, but to ask questions, not to lead armies, but to challenge minds. Socrates lived during a time when Athens was at the height of its glory. It was a city of thinkers and warriors, of artists and architects. But amidst all its grandeur, Socrates saw something others missed: an illusion of knowledge, a society proud of its intellect yet blind to its ignorance. And so he made it his mission not to teach, but to expose, not to instruct, but to inquire. His method was simple: he asked questions. But these were not ordinary questions. They were sharp, precise, and deeply unsettling. When a politician claimed to understand justice, Socrates asked him what justice really was. When a poet spoke of love, he asked whether they truly knew what love meant. Time and again, his questions peeled away assumptions like layers of an onion, leaving only uncertainty at the core. It was not mockery, it was awakening. Socrates believed that true wisdom came not from knowing many things, but from recognizing how little one actually knew. He famously declared, "I know that I know nothing." At first glance, it may seem like a paradox, but it holds profound insight. To know nothing is to be open, to learn, to grow, and to seek truth without ego. This humility was his strength, and it disarmed even the most confident of men. His journey into philosophy began after the Oracle of Delphi proclaimed him the wisest man in Athens. Puzzled by this statement, Socrates set out to find someone wiser. He questioned statesmen, poets, craftsmen, those regarded as the wisest in the land. But he found that though they claimed knowledge, they could not defend it. They were confident, but their understanding was shallow. And so Socrates realized the truth. While others believed they knew, he alone was aware of his own ignorance. And in that awareness lay his wisdom. He spent his days in public places, agoras, gymnasiums, workshops, engaging with anyone willing to talk. His questions cut through pride, exposed contradictions, and forced people to think deeply. Many found his method irritating. Some called him a gadfly, a buzzing nuisance that disturbed the peace. But Socrates believed the soul, like the body, needed exercise, and his questions were the training ground of the mind. Yet, his commitment to truth came at a price. Athens, proud and powerful, did not take kindly to being questioned. Socrates was accused of corrupting the youth in impiety, challenging the traditional gods of the city. At the age of 70, he stood trial, offered a chance to beg for mercy, to save himself with flattery or exile. Socrates chose a different path. He stood firm, unwavering. He told the court that he would rather die than stop his mission of awakening the people of Athens. He was sentenced to death by drinking hemlock. Even in his final moments, surrounded by friends and followers, Socrates remained calm. He spoke not of fear, but of the immortality of the soul. He reminded them that death was either a deep sleep or a journey to another place. Either way, nothing to be feared by a just man. And so, with grace and dignity, he drank the poison, and his body slowly grew still. But his voice, his ideas, lived on. Socrates left behind no writings. All we know of him comes from his disciples, especially Plato, who turned Socratic dialogues into timeless texts. Through Plato, and later Aristotle, Socrates' influence reached the Renaissance, the Enlightenment, and modern thought. His questions became the foundation of science, ethics, politics, and reason. His refusal to accept easy answers became the heart of critical thinking. But beyond the history and philosophy, Socrates left us something more valuable: an example. An example of a life lived in pursuit of truth, of courage in the face of death, of integrity that could not be bought or bent. He showed that greatness isn't measured by wealth, fame, or power, but by how honestly one examines their life. Even today, in an age of noise and distraction, his voice whispers through time. In every moment of doubt, in every question we dare to ask, Socrates lives on. His method challenges us to look deeper, to think harder, and to never settle for surface-level answers. He reminds us that knowledge is not a trophy to be displayed, but a journey to be lived. In a world where everyone claims to know, Socrates invites us to unlearn, to reflect, and to begin again with humility. He teaches that the unexamined life is not worth living, and that real strength lies not in pretending to know everything, but in having the courage to question everything. This is the legacy of Socrates, a man who had nothing, yet gave us everything. His life was not marked by conquest, but by conversation, not by victory, but by virtue. And in that quiet, relentless pursuit of wisdom, he became immortal.